Guess what, man? Hustle Bro just booked 10 appointments today. Oh yeah? What happened? No one showed up. And then what? But there was one guy and he asked for a proposal. Oh yeah. Sorry, bro, but I hate to break it to you, but you're never gonna hear from that guy again. Nah, man, he's just gotta talk to his partner and then he's gonna give me a whole bunch of money because I cold DM'd him. Ghosted. Isn't that what you do? Send 10,000 messages and get motherfuckers on calls? No, actually, for the last 5 years, we close people over video, which means when people are interested, we just send them a little 5-minute video with all the details, including the price, and they either message us and say, I'm in, and send us money. They sometimes message us back if they got a question, and then if they don't have any money or whatever, we just never hear from them again, and we don't waste 60 to 90 minutes on a phone, and that's how we've done it for 5 years and helped hundreds of people to do that. What's up, guys? It's Frankie here, and in this video we're going to talk about closing with video. For the last 5 years we have not done a single solitary sales call, and we've helped hundreds of people. This is not just something we do personally over the years to close all kinds of sales over video. I tell you, it's superior in every way. Besides the fact that you collect money, the real reason I think this is so much better is because it saves you the time of prospecting and chasing, and it allows VideoYou to do that. In fact, one of my favorite things to do is when I'm hanging out with people and they're not like fully into the video idea, is I'll just pull up the stats and be like, hey, VideoMe just made $1,100 since we started this conversation, because VideoMe was prospecting that whole time and was having sales conversations with people, and VideoYou can do the same thing. And it's relatively straightforward, and there's a formula to it, and I'm gonna show you the exact formula in this video. For those of you guys who don't know me already, my name's Frankie Finn. I've built 3 of my own agencies up to 100 plus clients. I also wrote these 2 best-selling books, Beyond the Agency Box and Passive Automated Recurring Income, which you can find on Amazon. And I've helped thousands of people worldwide to live this more beach, less laptop thing, and helped hundreds of people to actually do it, to actually get over the hump and close in video. And I would like for you to be next, so stick with me in this video because it's one of the best. So if you guys want to be able to close people in video, there are 5 key steps. And if you nail these 5 key steps, what you're going to find is, like I said, 33% of the time, people you'll never hear from them again, and you save yourself 60 to 90 minutes of talking to somebody who is never going to buy your shit anyway because they can't afford it or whatever. 33% of the time, they just buy it. Like, we just literally just get a payment, and I have a new phenomenon in my life I call inbox hunting, where I'm like, okay, who just paid me for what? And I have to figure out, like, okay, I got these payments, what is this from? Figure out, okay, who is this new client, and so forth. And 33% of the time, they have a last-minute question, which is usually a variation of, will this work for me? Which we just typically handle over text, email, stuff like that. We don't jump on a call, although you can, and when you do that, you'll find it's like a 5-6 minute call instead of an hour-long thing, because they already know the price, the details, how much. So I want to show you the first and most important piece of this, which is you have to start with a client problem and or an outcome you can create. And this is different than what like 95% of most people do in the agency space, because what most people do is they talk about their deliverable. We do SEO, we do pay-per-click, and we do Facebook ads, we make websites. And those are tools what I call a hammer. Nobody who went to the hardware store today woke up and said, I really just want a fucking hammer for the sake of a hammer. They're trying to build something, right? And they're trying to solve a problem. Maybe they want to build a backyard deck so they can have big barbecues and entertain guests. Or maybe they want to remodel their kitchen so they have a nice space to cook in. Or maybe they want to build a birdhouse and have their smiling daughter with them. Or maybe they want to commit murder and smash their ex-wife over the head. But nobody buys a hammer just because they want a hammer. And the reason I tell you this is because your service is a hammer, and to different people, it is different things depending on what they're trying to build. So what you need to know in order for this to work is a problem your niche has and or an outcome you can create. And then what I would say is take that a step further and turn that into a picture. That's a picture, by the way, that little box right there, in a way that's easy for them to understand. And when you do this right, this is way more attraction and putting out the vibe and way less chasing, which is what everyone else does.
What are you gonna do? I'm gonna hang by the bar, put out the vibe. Okay.
So let me give you a real example of this, and hopefully this will clear the mud. Is, from different conversations, say with dentists, we have a few people in our mastermind who are in the dental industry. One of the things dentists have said as a problem is they say the chair is empty, right? And what they mean by that is they have a hygienist, They pay that hygienist sometimes $35, $40, $45 an hour, and her job is to work on teeth. But when there's nobody in the chair, instead of that person making them money and working on a patient, they're a $45 an hour in expense, plus health benefits, plus dental, plus all those kind of things, and taxes and so forth. So for them, it's a big painful thing is when they look down and they see the dental chair as empty. And so if we wanted to show that to somebody as a problem, this is a chair, by the way, this is my awesome drawing, but we would simply show a picture of an empty dental chair, and if we were going to show them an outcome, by the way, one of the easiest pictures you can show people is just an example lead that you bring. So like you guys have form fills, for examples. Take a picture of a person saying, you know, I'm interested in Invisalign. That's a procedure in the, I can't spell that, but whatever, Invisalign. So for example, like if I was creating an opening slide, it wouldn't be, hey, I'm Frankie Finn and let me tell you about my service, my hammer, which they're never going to care about. It would say, hey, dentist, a lot of you guys have told us you got an empty dental hygienist chair and I want to show you how we can fill it with people who are looking for Invisalign patient or are looking for Invisalign. And I'll tell you, if you're like most people, when you start talking about your deliverable, this is what the client is actually thinking inside of their head.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
So I really, really want to make that clear to you. Nobody woke up in the middle of a cold sweat and said, I need SEO, I need pay-per-click, I need websites, I need SEO. But what they do say is, man, I need somebody in the dental hygienist chair. And when you show them, hey, I can create this outcome, and you show that in a picture, it allows them, by the way, 80% of the sale is made here if you can show them a problem that they actually have and or an outcome. And by the way, you can show just one of these. If you only have one of them, just show the outcome. You know, for most of you guys, this is going to be the easiest one. It's just show an example form fill. But you're going to make your life so much easier. So the second thing you need to have is what I would call your ideal client criteria. And it's very important that this is binary, meaning it is yes or no, black or white, not kind of, maybe, sorta. It can't be wishy-washy. Like, are you coachable is wishy-washy. But for example, do you have 5 good testimonial videos? That's yes or no. Do you have a salesperson? Yes or no. Can you respond to leads within 5 minutes? Yes or no. Right? So it's very important that you want to call out. And if you're not sure about this, look back at past clients and go, what did they most have to be need to be successful? And if you're creating a service brand new, really think about what would they need to do? What is their part of the equation? And for most of you guys, the criteria is just going to be follow up with the leads in a timely fashion. Call those motherfuckers and set an actual time. Can you do it within 5 minutes? Yes, we can work together. If you can't. And by the way, what this mirrors is the questions that are going on inside their head. If you normally do a sales call, the first like 15 to 45 minutes is just identifying the problems and identifying the outcomes. So when you show people in a picture, you actually kind of skip 30 to 45 minutes of a call. But then if you show them something, a problem and an outcome, they'll immediately wonder, will this work for me? So what we're doing by showing the criteria is answering, this will work for you if. And in fact, I use that exact phrase in the video. This will work for you if this scenario is true. All right. So the next piece of a video close is what I call a plan. And this comes, again, these come from questions. Like, you know, how I learned this stuff is if you do thousands of sales calls as I've done, you hear the same shit over and over and over. You hear the same objections. You hear the same questions. And you can almost forecast what somebody's going to say before they say it. And one of the things they wonder, if you've shown them a problem you can solve and an outcome you can create, and you've qualified them and said, this will work for you if you can follow up with 5 minutes, and they're like, hey, I can follow up in 5 minutes. The next question they wonder in their mind is, how does it work? In fact, this is the longest part of the video, and we simply describe in 3 to 5 steps how we get somebody to the result. Now, I'll tell you the 2 biggest mistakes I see with this is, the first mistake is people are vague and unspecific. We elevate, analyze, and optimize. Like those are just platitudes that don't mean anything. And then the flip side of that is they get so deep and so granular that what ends up happening is they almost talk too technical mumbo jumbo. Let me show you how we install the pixel, and then there's 7 minutes of explaining how a pixel works, and they don't really care in great detail how the pixel works. And I kind of compare this to, like, if I hired somebody to build a deck, because these are internet hands, these are not working hands, and if I hired somebody, I would want to hear their plan, but I'm not really looking for like great detail. I just want enough detail to know that you know what the fuck you're doing. So if the guy says to me, like, here would be an example of a plan that would be successful, would be like, hey, we're going to go on to Home Depot. They got a sale on lumber, and I'm going to go head on over there and see how much lumber we're going to need. The boys are already measuring this out, so they're going to text me the exact amount of lumber we're going to need. Once I know the exact price of lumber, I will send to you a quote. If you tell me the quote is good, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to build the frame, and then after that we'll get all the nails, we'll get it secured, and then we're going to add the finishing, the railings, and the sanding, the finishing touches, and then we're going to stain that bad boy so it looks brand new. You won't be able to walk on it for 24 hours, but after that, give us 48, 72 hours, you can have a brand new deck and you can have all the barbecues you want. Would you like to sign up, right? So I'm not looking for what kind of wood is he going to use or nails or which tools, but I just want to know he knows what he's doing. And so this is what clients are looking for you in 3 to 5 steps. So I'll give you an example. Christian from our mastermind, he helps restaurants to get like birthday parties. Why birthday parties? Because people come with a lot of friends, they spend a lot of money, and what happens is, like they make more money on a birthday party. So one of the things he does is he says, hey, we capture your email list by putting these things at the table, so if somebody's interested, they can join the VIP list. Then we text out a birthday offer that they get a free dessert if they come in for their birthday, and we ask them to make a reservation so we know how many people are coming, so we can prepare, and then we send you the notification so you know there's a party at 12 coming June 12th, right? That's 3 to 5 steps. You can understand how it's going to work. I'll give you another example with our motorcycle case stuff. We target motorcycle riders within 50 miles of your law practice. We run an ad that says, hey, if you're ever going to be injured in a motorcycle accident, you're going to need this book. Hopefully you never need it, but sign up for this book just in case so you have it handy, so you know exactly what to do. Then we follow up with those people with email and retargeting ads for the next year and a half, and every single one of those emails and retargeting ads invites them to call you if something's happened. That's how we get motorcycle case leads. Right? So if you do this wrong and it's too vague and unspecific or it's overly technical, this is the kind of response you're going to get.
You've had this pair of extra gloves this whole time?
Yeah, we're in the Rockies.
Yeah, we're in the Rockies, right? So this is going to be the longest part of the video, by the way. This part, even though this does most of the selling, the problem and the outcome, we can show that in like 10, 15 seconds. The who it's for, again, 10, 15 seconds. We're 20, 30 seconds into the video. We're 80% of the way to the sale because we showed them a problem we know how to solve. We showed them an outcome that they want. We qualified them and said, this is who it's for. Now, though, they need this logical part. What comes next, by the way, if the logical part makes sense, the next thing they'll wonder is how much? So we simply tell them the price and contextualize it with value, which is equally important. And by the way, just so you guys know, the vast majority of objections in your sales process happen right here in the plan. Or if the plan is not clear or whatever, or if the plan sounds too similar to something they tried before that didn't work. So again, with the plan, we also do this with pictures. When we show those 3 to 5 steps, don't just say we send an email, show a picture of the email. Don't just say we run an ad, show a picture of an ad. Don't just say we create a landing page, show a picture of a landing page. And show people and explain where are we different. Like these are usually little things, not big things. But hey, you may have tried SEO in the past and it didn't work, but here's why this is different. So anyways, we get to the point price and value. And this is the thing that most agencies hide behind and say you have to book a 60-minute call to find out the price and the value. And I'll tell you, busy, successful people with money hate jumping through hoops. Hate jumping through hoops to have to buy it. I'm one of these guys, by the way. I just, like a couple weekends ago, or a couple months ago, I should say, because it's not the season right now, I took my family glamping, and I like glamping here. It's like fancy camping. You do it on the beach here. And I like doing it because I don't have to pack a tent. I don't have to worry about the shit. I just drive there. Everything's set up for me. I got a hot shower. I got Wi-Fi. I got electricity. But I'm also like, in nature and chilled out. And I remember trying to contact, 4 or 5 different places. And the way it works here in Mexico is you have to WhatsApp. You can't just like buy it on the website. If I could buy it on the website, by the way, I just would have bought it on the website. But of course, all of them added these extra hoops to buying it. There was only one who just said, here's my, like payment link with PayPal, which I paid and I went and I joined. And the other 3 of them were going, they're all bad leads. They're no good. Because one of them I remember, for example, the first one that got back to me, they gave me 16 numbers and said, you got to drive to OXXO and give them these numbers, which is a convenience store chain here. So in my mind, I got to drive to a bank machine, get cash, then drive to OXXO, and in my broken Spanish, try and go like, do you know what I'm supposed to do with these 16 numbers? Because I hope so, because I don't. And that already just sounded like too much hoops. And I promise you, jumping on a call is a hoop. People with money do not want to jump through in order to talk to you. They just want to know how much is it and what sort of value they're going to get in return. So this is key, that whenever you present price, you have to contextualize it with value, right? Because like, for example, if I say to you, I got a car for sale, it's $5,000. Is that a deal? Is that a ripoff? You don't know until you understand what kind of car you're going to get. So whenever you mention price, you have to contextualize it with what you're going to get. You're going to get 50 to 100 leads for $2K a month. You're going to get $40 motorcycle case leads. You're going to get about 10 to 12 birthday campaigns this month alone, right? You have to contextualize price with value. When you understand this, if somebody asks you out of sequence, how much is it, instead of going, well, we have to do a 60-minute call, just tell them the fucking price and tell them what they're going to get for it, and they'll go, that makes sense. And by the way, these pricing strategies are some of the stuff we talk about inside of the Wolfpack Mastermind.
Select your player.
Thank you for playing my game. And by the way, a lot of times people think with the price that there is a upper limit on the things that can be sold through video. And I haven't seen it yet. In fact, I've actually seen $1 million shit sold over video in front of me. I wasn't the one selling $1 million shit. But I can remember, like the first time I saw a really big deal is there were a bunch of lawyers on a webinar, and there were these two guys, and they both did TV. They had worked as TV executives. Their names were both Mark. I forget the name of the company. But they offered a package where it was like, hey, we figured out how to buy really cheap media, and we figured out a commercial that works. We'll buy the media, we'll run the commercial. All you got to do is handle the phone calls. We charge $10,000 for 100 phone calls. I watched, I don't know, them make $3-4 million right in front of my eyes on that webinar. And then I remember a couple of the guys asked a question. They said, I want to use my own commercials, but I'm really interested in the way you guys buy media and get it really cheap. Is there any way you guys do consulting? And they said, yes, our consulting is $100,000, so 6 figures. And they said, it works really, really well if you're at least spending $1 million a year on TV. If that's you, we can cut your bill in half to usually like $500,000, and we do that because we know how they buy the media. We have very insider knowledge on how the stations work and what they can and can't do. If that interests you, you can sign up here. And I watched like 5 or 10 guys sign up for a $100,000 consulting package. And the key distinction with that, they presented the price, it's $100K, and then contextualize it with value. If you're spending $1 million a year, we're going to cut your bill in half. Right? So for the right person, that was just enough value that it was a no-brainer. And so I always hear, the reason I present this to you guys, because a lot of times people say like, oh, I sell a $2,000 thing. That can't be sold over video, or I got a $10,000 thing. Wrong, wrong, wrong. You can sell anything over video. In fact, we've sold houses. Yes, you can sell houses. I've sold a car, just one single car. We've sold investments, crypto, masterminds, retreats, coaching, and of course, hundreds and hundreds of agency services. I promise you, your thing is not different. It's a formula, and this formula comes out of, these are just the questions people ask you on a sales call. Somebody asked me, is this like a tactic that will pass in time? And the truth is, no. And the reason, because it's not a tactic. This is like, if you do a long-winded sales call, this is the shit they want to know. So let's talk about the last piece. And it's, how do I buy it? Right? And we assume that they automatically know that they have to give us the green light. In fact, I'll give you an example of this. I got brought in as a consultant for a law firm, and they said, hey, we're not closing as many calls as we want, and I know you have experience with this. Can you listen to our calls and tell us where it's breaking down? And I remember I listened to this call from this new lawyer, and he did everything right. He handled questions. He was polite. He was knowledgeable. He was helpful. He was friendly. And then it got to the end of the call, and the person said, so like, now what? Where do we go from here? And the guy was very wishy-washy and weak. In essence, that person was asking, like, how do I buy this thing? And the guy said, well, it's kind of up to you now. And it depends on what you want to do. And he goes, did I answer all your questions? And the lady said, yeah. And he said, okay, well, if you would like to work together at some point in the future, call us back. And he hung up the phone on her. And right there was a person who wanted to buy it and didn't know how. And so we assume that they automatically know that they have to say, yes, I'm in, or that they know to go to your Stripe link, or they know to go to your PayPal. They do not. So you have to spell this out. You have to, in detail, by the way, you have to go, if you'd like to buy it, I want you to click the green button below. And then when the green button comes up, you'll get first hit with a payment link. And then we have our onboarding form right after that. And then what you'll do is you'll receive an email with us for steps for the next instruction. So if that's you and you'd like to just buy this, here's what you need to do next. And then I also give them instructions for if you got a question, right? If you got a question, the best way is just simply send me an email response. Just type your question, and we can handle that question over email. And also, I also like to give them instructions for if they're a no. Hey, if you're a no and this is totally not a fit for you, I would love for you to just email me and say not a fit. And the reason is because otherwise we're going to follow up with you and we're going to send you more messages. I don't want to chase you. I don't want to harass you. I don't want to try and pitch you something you don't want. So if it's not a fit for you, feel free to just say no thanks, not for me, and send us a reply, and that'll be the end of it. But if you are ready to buy it, I want you to click that green button below, and then from that green button, what I'd like you to do, fill out your payment information, then fill out that onboarding form. It'll take you about 10 minutes to fill out that onboarding form, and then you're going to get an email from us for how to get started. And by the way, you can do the onboarding with video, and you can also do the client updates with video. In fact, this video thing can carry through where you close the clients with video, you onboard them with video, and I was just actually talking to Ryan Davies about this the other day, who came to some of the masterminds in our house. He's signing as many as 40 clients a week for an SEO service, and it is being done entirely phoneless. So that's like the extent of what's possible for you guys, is at least from what I've seen, is you can sign 40 clients a week, not a month, a week, and not talk to any of them. In fact, VideoYou is doing the talking to them. So if that sounds interesting to you guys, I want you guys to do right now, click the old subscribe button on this channel. Make sure to pay attention to the golden dad guns. And that's all I got for you guys in this video. Much love. May the force be with you. Hey guys, if you like this video, you may also like my best-selling book here, Beyond the Agency Box. It is all about scaling a digital marketing agency while eliminating meetings and phone calls. We actually sell our stuff phoneless. We don't have any client meetings, and we also hire our team entirely without meeting phone calls, which allows us to, like actually kind of live a life. I've laid out the entire blueprint and everything you need to know, getting clients, onboarding, setting expectations, scaling, building a team, you name it. It has been a bestseller on Amazon now for over 5 straight years, but now you can get it even cheaper than you can get it on Amazon. So I can't tell you the exact price because it may change when this video is released, but there should be a link to it below, either in the description of the video or as well as a pinned comment. So if you're interested in that, check out that video, and you can get a copy for super cheap.